There we go. We're recording. Happy May. I can't believe we're almost half of the way through 2022. That really gives me pause for thought. I'm like, holy heck. And we started Goal Club, and I feel like this is so powerful. We started Goal Club at the beginning to say, let's riff on goals for the year. And then the groups kind of slowly started to dwindle, and people were like, I'll take the recording. Can you follow up with me? And I was like, well, we can. And it's a lot more fun if you come real life. So that's okay. Whoever comes is perfect, because the conversation of keeping goals alive makes us want to just watch a recording sometimes. It's better together. I'm going to dive right in. We're recorded. And so if you're watching this recording, know that we love you for that. And if you're here, welcome. It's very fun. Ashley, hi. It's been so long. People have cameras on. Can we add in the chat a number that how you feel on a scale of 1 to 10 and one word to describe how you're feeling? We won't dive in. There's no questions. We're going to talk about goals and feelings. Jacki's going to talk about goals and feelings. And before I introduce Jacki, I thought we would just give a heartbeat check. How you feel on a scale of 1 to 10 and one word to describe how you're feeling.
Oh, jealous. Oh, 3. Overwhelmed.
Okay. Tired. Right? It's great. How do we talk about our feelings without? I'm about a 6.3. My word is trust. Beautiful. So honest. Thanks for chiming in. So we've been talking about the topic of goals and how people really wanted a space, or the feedback we got was, we want a space where we can come in and hear about them. Don't ask me questions. Don't put me in a breakout room. I want to hear about your relationship with goals. I want to be inspired for a minute. I don't want to have to do anything, yet help me go back to tomorrow and want to pursue my goals with a little bit more vigor. And I was like, all right, we're here for that. And it's not something that I would ever want to do alone. And when I think of goals right from the very beginning, I was like, Jacki Carr, how do we bring you into this conversation? Because there's no one that exists like Jacki who will stand for your goals in the craziest, wildest ways. And I was like, Mercury's in retrograde. It's not a time for communicate, like good glory, hang on. And when I think like Jesus take the wheel, I think you call Jacki Carr. So I'm going to give the quick intro that was also in the note that said, I've known Jacki for more than 10 years. Jacki literally feels like she's living her vision and goals come true. And what I love is that it doesn't make it easy, always joyful, the most beautiful piece that we thought it would be. Like when we've arrived, you're like, shit, here we are. And what? And so I don't know if you're maybe feeling like that, or maybe you're feeling elation. Either way, Jacki, you have just been such a force of light of total truth. Even when you're a 6.3, your 6.3 and light of truth is, I think, what we all need and want. And so I want you to riff. I'm going to add people in as they come, just so you know. So if the screen grows, that's what's happening. I want you to riff, and I have some questions tucked in my heart as well. And I want friends on the call to know if you have questions, we want them. And you can also just sit and be totally entertained for 45 minutes. Is that cool? Are we good? Let's become more intimate. Jack, if I pass it over to you, tell me about goals and feelings and where you are today.
Yeah. Well, maybe let's not start with today. We'll go to the past and then go to the present. Okay. So I met Steph at Lululemon many years ago, and I met Steph, I think, right around 30. And 20s and early 30s, man, I just set the most big, amazing goals. Like Steph's saying, I live in Colorado in this cabin, and I have 3 children. One of them is a 2-month-old. Lot of blush on today because mom is tired, and my 4-year-old's been like so ill for a week and a half. And that's why I'm at a 6.3, because like, damn, life is real. And so when I was setting goals before in my 20s, it was just me. I was like, at me. I can do anything. And I could. Oh, I felt like I could. And so I think that's when Seth and I met. I was writing this vision about having
There we
family,
go.
living in the Rockies, hiking every day. Oh my God, I can't even remember the last time I hiked. And, being able to live in flannel. And I was living in California and even Chicago at the time. I was telling Steph these goals. And what I'm interested in talking to y'all about today is the language of keeping a goal alive. And I now know that a goal alive is not a goal being completed. Oh, look, my mother's calling. A goal alive is a goal that you're in, and a goal that you're feeling, and a goal that's perhaps being edited and changed and happening earlier, happening late, or perhaps you're failing. That is being alive, because when we're alive, we're in all of our emotions. And so I think when I started as a goal coach, I won't even lie to y'all, I probably was a little bit of one of those toxically positive people. I was like, anybody can set goals. You can do it. You can do it today. And I still believe that. However, that comes with some notes on grief, gratitude. I call it goal grief because I've had a lot of it in the past 2.5 years. And gratitude for the experience, whether the goal came to fruition or didn't. There's always something to learn, and that's being alive. I come to you with humble pie of having children and realizing that the vision I wrote single is a load of malarkey now, because I have 4 other entities that are part of the process. I have a second child that is like, give me space or I will never sleep. And I'm like, holy shit, I live on a mountain. How do I let her go outside? It's like literally on an edge. So I was like, oh, cool. I'm meeting my children and learning from them. Therefore, my vision is changing. And so I share this with you as a goal coach who was like, oh my God, I have to have my goals perfect. I have to be checking goals off every day. Instagram has got to be my life as goals, not alive, as goals complete. Check, 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 check. So when I actually understood that goals alive was bringing my whole self to the table, that includes my shadow and my light, I was like, ooh, this is harder. And this is why I think goals are getting somewhat of a weird rap right now. You see people, like you say, falling off for goal club. Let's just call a spade a spade. Goals are a little weird right now with post-pandemic creating, and y'all are the creators of this, a new normal for yourself. No one's going to create it for you. So creating a new normal, navigating how you felt. I love someone in here is 10 and they are alive. And then right before that, someone's a 3 and overwhelmed. I'm like, this probably is how we've all felt in a matter of a week, a day, 30 minutes. And so what I love talking about is how we stay in a goal when shit gets hard, or how we pivot, how we allow the eraser on a pencil, because holy wow, I love a whiteboard so I can erase and change the goal as needed. Because the truth is, y'all, when you set a goal, you're setting it from the present moment of who you are now. And my learning of goals is we become our goals. We are not our goals yet. And in that becoming is an evolution of self. And we keep meeting ourselves, asking ourselves, do I still want this goal? Asking ourselves, oh, wow, it might not happen as soon as I thought. Oh, wow, I could do this goal tomorrow if I actually sat down. And so I love goals as a dynamic conversation, because we are dynamic. Instead of do this and you will win. I don't buy it. I buy being human in our goal process so that you have an edit button. And so you can explore all of you, grief, gratitude, celebration, success, and drama that is goal setting.
Mhm.
So that's where I'm at, Steph.
I mean, I love it. I think we could all just sit and listen. And I just want to only ask questions that plant seeds for more of these riffs, because your humanness that comes with, the ability to dry erase or erase. I'm like, when was the last time I used a pencil? Like a pencil, what a beautiful thing. Like we can make changes. And that's what I want to know. Like the power of changing without labeling it a failure, and the power of like rerouting navigation. How does that feel for you? And is there, I mean, I don't want to dive in. The other piece, I think I'm going to tangent for a moment. You taught me this, that some goals are really personal. Like goals aren't meant to be shared with everyone. And so I want to be mindful that I'm not trying, I don't want to come into your inner circle of goals that you don't want to share with all of us. That's so fair. And the notion of like your goal has to be up for everyone. No, it has to be up for you and who you want to share it with. Are there changing of goals that you can share with us without me feeling like I'm intruding in your inner circle?
Yeah. As an Aquarius, it's really hard to tread on my inner circle, y'all. So I'm good. Like I won't share what I won't share. I will share what I will share. That's such a gift I've grown into, by the way. But I want to stay there for a second and talk about goal boundaries, because that's what you just touched on. Y'all get a list of 1 through 5 on your paper. If you're taking notes, or you can close your eyes and find your goal people. There will be, and maybe you only have 2. No, somebody else is like 5. I know 5 would be like a lot of best friends, actually. So I totally get if that's too many. Like 1 to 2, great. Know who your people are that can hear your goals, that can hold your goals, that can root for you. Like I said, as an Aquarian, and let me just throw you some identity stuff. As an Enneagram 3 and a manifesting generator, I'm a more intense human, I think, than some. I like to get shit done. I don't care what other people think, but I secretly do. And I like to change the conversation every 5 seconds. So we were just talking about goals and feelings. Now we're talking about boundaries. Yeah, you'll see it all connect at the end. And some people I scare the shit out of with my goals, or they will be like, you can't do that. That's crazy. Or you shouldn't do that right now. Financially, that's not a smart decision. Like, listen, everybody's got their stuff. You got to know your goal people that are able to listen.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I have to really be selective with who I share with. And I would say for me, I'm coming off a couple years where I would say I was somewhat in survival mode. I went through a huge loss last year, and that turned my life upside down. And then I had a child 2 months ago. So I've had loss and creation on the heels of one another. And I think it's so human and so life to surrender and release. And I look back at last year where I didn't have a lot of goals, y'all. And I think we'll have years like that. But it was a harder year. And I told Steph this yesterday, that for me, goals feel like hope.
Mm-hmm.
And if you read Brene Brown, her new book is Hope is Like Air.
No los penta.
Oh, hero. See, she's wrangling life over there too. So if goals are like hope, and I took a sabbatical from goals, I didn't have a lot of hope last year, and that's okay. I think I was meeting new parts of myself and allowing a darker side than I've ever met before. And that I think allowed me to then step into this new identity of goals as desires, goals as a becoming. And one thing Steph said, y'all, that I will argue with is, I don't mind. That's a lie. I have befriended failure instead of running away from it, instead of hiding from that label. Failure will happen in your goals, period. It will happen. It has happened in mine 1,000 times, if not 1,000,000. And thank God, thank God I look at some of those failures and I'm like, woo, they dodged a bullet. And it didn't feel that way in the moment. And so I think a lot of fear comes up around setting goals because we're, scared to fail. Oh, what if someone laughs at me? What if someone doesn't believe me? What if I don't believe me? And if you aren't willing to be in the conversation around goal failure, goals are going to be really hard because we're going to fail even along the way. Right? Like we aren't operating in a bubble or a vacuum. Thank God, how boring. Like if I was solo in a vacuum, just crushing goals, I'd be like, who am I sharing this with? And I'd be so not relatable. And so I think it's through our success and failure that we are human. So I would say, like, when you talk about change, Steph, I'm okay with failure. It might take me a couple days, but that's where I start to dig in, get curious. Why did I fail? Did I commit? Did I go all in? Is it something I don't want anymore? Can I push it so it's out has some space to breathe? The past, like I said, my younger daughter's been sick, but to be honest, both my daughters have been sick almost all of the new daughter's life. It is the most intense shit I've ever been through. Setting goals, like it's hilarious to me right now because I'm like, oh, you want my kids to go to school? Can't. Oh, you want me to send that newsletter? Can't. And it's hilarious. I'm like, oh, wow, this is life, is moving and editing and honoring and asking for help. So I would say befriending failure has been like a huge key for me in goal setting.
Can I ask you another question? Can I keep going? I just want to get the nectar out of you.
That's all we're ripping. Let's do it. It's better for me.
Look at the size of that coffee. Is this coffee?
Not a coffee. Are you kidding? The kid I'm breastfeeding would never sleep. It's a milkshake.
That's true. Can you plug who sponsors you?
Oh yeah, these are the ones I've been posting. This is my Kyoku shake. This pays my rent. Love, Jacki.
That's Goals Alive. Drink those shakes.
That's right.
You talked about hope and you talked about feelings, and I feel really passionately that goals and feelings are a conversation that live together. And I don't think often enough we talk about them that way. I want to know how working on a goal will make you feel every day. And that changes the relationship with failure in my eyes. And yet you really spoke about goal feelings so beautifully. And I want you to go more there. Tell us more about, do you start with the goal or the feeling? And if you lead with the feeling or the goal, how does that direct or navigate where you go next?
Okay. Again, no right or wrong way. Ashley might start with the feeling and might start with the goal. Love it. This is where we really honor our own practice. Y'all, you got to find your way in. You got to find your key to goal setting. Don't do it the way he or she or they do it. Do it the way that aligns to you. And so I think that's like, you can start with, I want to feel, very Daniel Laporte-esque, and then create goals that honor those feelings. Or you can start with the goal and then ask, how does this make me feel? Either or would be my answer to that. However, keep your body in the conversation. My teacher always says, like, the body is innately intelligent, right? And the body will be able to tell you, like, oh, you're avoiding that goal. Oh, wow, that goal creates awe. And if there's anything we all need more right now, it's AWE, awe and wonder, okay? Oh, that goal creates feelings of excitement. Oh, that goal creates feelings of fear. By the way, those feelings are very close together. So check those. This goal.
Say that again. Bring us back. What's close together?
Oh, fear and excitement.
Fear and excitement.
Yeah, it's like very close vibration. So you almost like, I almost sometimes seesaw, excited about this goal and scared.
Yeah.
And I find though, those feelings will bring you home into your body to be able to make the choice, yes or no. Your yes and no, we think it lives in the brain, but it lives also in the body. When you say yes, when you say no, you can feel the difference, the different energy. You can do that with your goal.
Okay, so you say this about goal setting, and now it's like goal getting. And to your point, like goals alive or being in the practice of it. So it's like the goal is set, and then what? And that is where I think, here we are, it's almost June. So if you were the kind of person that set a goal earlier in January or February, and now here we are, and it's like you've probably had 5 different feelings on 5 different days about the goals. And I'm wondering what keeps you in the goal, like what keeps you in goals alive, Jack?
Yeah, this is a great question. So some of us are going to post our goals up like on the wall so we can see them and read them every day. I can't do that because it makes me really anxious and I'm an impatient person. So I have to check them like once a month or like really with the change of season. And I find that that's like been my way in, because when I used to have them like framed on my bedside, I would be judging myself for what I hadn't done yet. And that was something I had to learn about myself as an impatient goal setter and very impatient goal getter.
Yeah.
And when we do that though, when we allow ourselves like a cadence, I would say, like I looked up books I love to read, and Atomic Habits by James Clear. Has anybody read it?
Yeah.
Okay. Allison, Tia, y'all have read it. I think it's a great complement to goal setting. It's like, what are you doing with your days to feel this goal, to check on this goal, to live this goal? Are you telling your boundary goal people? Are you moving towards it? Depending on like what the goal track is. You can start to even create mini goals, which I think James would call habits, that start to allow you to see success. If you haven't set goals in the last 2 years, which great, because the last 2 years has been really weird, give yourself smaller goals to tip into. I really don't believe in smaller or bigger goals, but there might be more bite-sized weekly goals versus like a 10-year goal. And you'll find like, oh, wow, this is how I get the goal, is telling 2 people. I need accountability. Or by reading it every night before I go to bed. Yeah. Or, you can look at like the habits that create you becoming the goal.
Yeah. See, I mean, I know that people that are either listening now or listening later will appreciate that you speak the truth that says, I can be a goal coach and a goal getter. And here are things I don't like. I don't want to read them beside my bed every day. I don't want them posted on my wall. I don't want to follow the life hackers that say goals have to be this way. They can actually be many different ways. And it's so beautiful. It's so refreshing to be reminded that there is choice in how we hold on to, how tightly, how loosely we hold on to our relationship with goals. Now, so I just want to pause and acknowledge that, hear that we're talking to an impatient goal setter who will always be in the practice of goals. And that's so freaking powerful. That's so beautiful. One thing that I still remember to this day, Jacki had Lululemon tights on, probably high tops, her hair's in a top knot. And she was like, I can see it now. I'm going to be in a cabin and I'm going to have all these kids come running up to me and my dogs. And I literally went to Jacki's house in the woods and I saw 2 dogs jump out of the trees and 3, well, you had your 3rd little munchkin in your belly at the time. And I was like, this is it. Like, this was the vision. And now you speak of that, and it was, over a decade ago. And so I want to ask you now, where does your relationship with your vision come into play in the present? And where, how far out is your vision that you do or don't hold on to? It once upon a time, for context, used to be 10 years, friends. So we were all about this 10-year vision and living into our 10-year vision. And I think things have changed. I think it's different, or maybe not. Jacki's going to tell us.
So one thing I would say that I did was I didn't write a new vision so I could like bask in this one, right? Like for a while. I wrote that a long time ago, and I lived in Chicago. I read that out loud on a microphone once, and I didn't move to Colorado. I moved to California. Like, it's not always going to be a linear straight line, right? Like, you're not going to always make it happen as, cut and clear as we think. And then I moved to Denver and was like, oh, there's no mountains in Denver. This is weird. I have to drive an hour. So then I moved again to where I live now, which is called Evergreen. And I like am in the trees. There's probably like a deer or something out there. And I love this goal and this vision, I should say, because the whole thing was a vision I wrote. Of course, I didn't know Evergreen existed when I wrote that vision, y'all. I didn't even know this town existed. I didn't even know I would live in a small town. I just said Chicago and LA, small town. I don't know. Ooh, is the coffee good? Like, I'm really snobby about my coffee. And so, and the gossip, don't even get me started. So it's a weird learning curve here. And I was really nervous moving out here, even though this was the vision I'd written and these were the trees and there's the cabin. I was like, oh, I feel uncomfortable. This isn't what I'm used to. Where are all the people? And so I think it was, jumping in and being like, wow, you can change the goal. I can move, which I am moving next week, which is hilarious. We're talking about that. So I did bask in the vision for some time, and I would do smaller visions. So I would do a seasonal vision. One thing you could do right now, your vision for the summer. Summer's not until like June 21st. I highly recommend it because when I moved to Colorado, everybody's like, wow, it's really nice there. I'm going to come visit. And one summer was like other people's vision. I did nothing for myself. Everybody's here drinking my snobby coffee out of my snobby machine. And I was like, I'm not doing anything I want to do. And so it was really interesting that a vision can keep you true to what you also want, while blending with other visions. And I would say you're right, Steph. My vision now is more 5-year than
5
10
year.
years.
Okay.
Yeah. And I want y'all to know my vision that I read to Steph had like the cabin details. I mean, the kids, it had the dogs, the whole thing. And the vision I have now is much more vague, but it has so many more feelings. So that vision, I was like a Virgo. And this vision, I'm like a Cancer. I just feel my way into it. And so my vision now has like a huge, I'm looking out my kitchen window and it's very open behind me. There's a red carpet, or not carpet, rug. Wow, if I put red carpet through the whole place, huh? Anyways, a red rug. And there's a book on the coffee table. I really don't know. I haven't really like explored the book as much. And I'm looking out the window, which is hilarious because my husband's the cook. Like, what am I doing in the kitchen? Anyways, we'll find out. And I'm looking out the kitchen window. My children are way out there. So there's land. I've got land and it's flat. It's like grassy land. I'm like, what? Whoa, where is this? And there's actually, I grew up in Texas with these huge oak trees. And I don't know if they're like it's not in Texas. So let's just make that really clear. But they're like river oaks. And I'm like, oh, there's water nearby. Where am I? And then I hear a car on gravel. So there's like rocky car. I know I'm getting a little detailed, but what you can hear is, I don't know where the hell this place is. I can't wait to find it. And what I know I feel though, is my hair's up in like a tussled clip or something. I have on like really cool boyfriend jeans that I've tried on 100 times and I can't pull off yet. So I cannot wait to find what body gets into those, because your body just keeps changing as a woman. And there's grass and it's a little hot and I can feel my family in connection through yelling, waving. Someone pulled up to visit us, communities there, Chris is out there. So that's really all I know. I don't know where it is. I don't know how big the house is. I can feel the living room and the kitchen. I can feel the grass and those trees. Oh, there's a tire swing. So that's always a weird one. Now I look for it on Zillow. Does it have a tire swing? Like I can't buy one. Anyways, so that's what I see now. Way less clear though on the yes of where I'm going. And so what I want to tell you is, because I have that vision, this July, Chris and I and the girls, and the dogs somehow, are going to travel. So we're going to travel for the whole month and we're going to hit different states that have this kind of space. And we're just going to see how it feels. I got to go see how it feels. Chris has never been to Vermont or Boston, so we got to take him there to see how it feels. We'll hit, Idaho or Montana, see how it feels. Probably too cold, but I think that's where you can feel your way into a goal, into a vision.
I don't know about the rest of you. There is something so powerful about hearing someone else's vision through their own heart and soul. Like nothing beats it. And what I want to asterisk is, if you were Jacki Carr's husband who didn't want to explore these kinds of things, can you imagine the negative push I want certainty. I need a paved road. I need to know which state. I need to know when we're moving in. It wouldn't work. It's like it wouldn't give space for there to be growth to get there. And it just feels full circle back to like the power of boundaries and the power of knowing who's in the inner circle to let you become the person in the boyfriend jeans that has your daughter running in the field that's behind your house so she can sleep at night. And she's like, thanks, Ma. I can ride my bike because I don't live on a cliff anymore. And this is really fun. And trying it on, you try on jeans, you try on a different state, you try things on. It almost feels like we become an adult and we don't try things on other than a fitting room with an outfit. And it's like, no, try on different places to live, try on different working arrangements, childcare arrangements, try on what would it be like if your tire swing was actually a wooden swing? And is it a swing or is it really a tire? Maybe it is. And when that is the place rather that your goals get to permeate from, they can be a lot of fun. And I think that it's a seesaw, as you say, Jack. It's like, get so serious and we get so stuck, and then we get halfway through the year and we're like, I'm giving up on them. And I'm like, you're giving up on the tire swing? You're giving up on boyfriend jeans? Like, you're just not there yet. And how fun to get there. And I want to know who's in your goal circle that's like, cool, like those jeans don't fit. By the way, they were overalls, they weren't jeans. So go and try again. It's okay. And that's what I love so much about you. One of the things I love so much about you, Jackie, is that you're up for so many fit sessions of life, so many different iterations every day. What is it today? And let's try that on, and let's try it on again. And it feels like, I know you embrace failure, and it just doesn't feel like there's no failing in feelings. Like, to feel all the feels is such a beautiful thing. And to articulate vision is so powerful. I feel like it would be so juicy if we just spend 60 seconds and we talk, if there's only one nugget, I know there's so many, of your summer vision. Take a pen. I'm going to start the clock. 60 seconds of summer vision. And I just want you to think, it's the September long weekend, and you look back and say, my summer was ... And what would that be like for you? Let's do that. Okay. I want you to stop just in the name of timing here. And if you want to keep going after this call, please keep going. One of Jackie's beautiful gifts is that she is a goal coach, and she does have a goal program. Is that still online, Jack?
Yeah.
We'll make sure we send out the link to that. And if we have 10 minutes with Jackie right now, it's like the 10 most special minutes that you're going to get on this Sweet Friday. And if anyone would like adventure points and you want to share your summer vision with us, we want to hear, with the permission that Jackie may have something to offer for you.
Oh,
ready,
no
Jack?
pressure.
Jackie's on the spot. Tia's hands up. You go first, Tia. Tell us summer vision.
Thank you. Summer vision. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm teaching a pop-up sunrise embody class on the roof of the pavilion. I am looking at 32 people who are sweating, moving their bodies for the joy of it, loving the music and the connection of community. My heart's racing, by the way.
I love it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Where's the pavilion, just so I know?
It's on Ontario, I think and like 5th-ish. It's right next to one of Sage's headquarters.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're in Canada.
We're talking
just-
We're in Canada.
Vancouver.
We're in Vancouver.
Yeah.
Vancouver. Yeah.
Well, I was like, am I going? I don't know. What pavilion?
Okay.
I love it. I would say the one thing I do with big, exciting, juicy things like this, Tia, where you're like, I'm going to shit my pants in this day, at this moment, and I'm going to send it to Steph and Jackie and be like, look, it happened and 33 people came and it's stupid. And we'll be like, yeah, we know. And I love like writing down 10 ways, and you can pick your number. Maybe you're a spirit person, so maybe 11. Like 11 ways it'll happen. So not just the one way. Something I've really gifted myself is, how do I make this goal happen and not making it tunnel vision to like, well, if it doesn't happen this way, it's not going to happen. It's actually, oh wait, there's 10 other ways to try. And so it would be like, you could even like crush the conversation into like, how do I get 32 people? Or when do I need a reservation for the pavilion? Do we just show up? And so you can answer these questions. And I think it makes the vision feel so real. You have 11 possibilities to almost hopscotch to your vision. How fun. Yeah.
I love that. Thank you so much.
I can't wait to see the picture.
I can't wait to share.
Who else has a summer vision they want to share? Yeah, Allison.
Sorry, I couldn't find the mute. Mine is not a big vision, but just spending time gardening with my mom. We recently built a house that has a suite in it, and my parents live with us. And I just, she loves to garden, and I don't. I'm horrible at keeping plants alive, but I just want to spend time gardening with her.
Yeah. I want you to know, Allison, in 10 years, that'll be one of your biggest visions to remember. We think we need these gargantuan goals, y'all. The gargantuan of life is in the minute details of being with your mother, with your hands in the mother, that is earth, trying something that you said you're bad at that you probably won't be bad at in 3 months because mother taught you. And you'll be eating like a tomato, which I would say, like, get you some tomatoes. They really grow. So if you want to feel successful, start with a tomato plant. And yeah, I really feel like time with our loved ones, if that's in your vision, your life is good. Your life is so good. And you can be doing anything. Britt wants to be having espresso all together, and Allison wants to have her hands in the dirt in the garden. Oh God, please do this, y'all. We have to do more of the connecting. Tia's going to be probably adjusting and speaking to these 32 people, and it's going to change their day, if not their life. We don't know. And there'll be a picture probably of you and mom in a straw hat that maybe gets framed or put in a Christmas ornament, unless you're Jewish. I don't know, it might go somewhere else. Who knows with religion? But I just share that, like, that's the bliss of life is in those details. So I love that vision. I love it. It's perfect. It's perfectly imperfect, right, y'all? It has to be. All right, Britt, Mon, you coming on? Or who raised their hand?
Oh, Janet. Janet did. Love that woman.
Hi there.
Hi.
Hey, Jane.
How's it going?
Going.
Good. I let me see if I can start an actual video. There we go. I'm just having lunch, work break. And I've had just a shockingly challenging 3 years, well beyond COVID. And so the vision for this summer is just purely joy. Things that bring happiness, which usually involves my children, people that I care about, and playing in the mountains on a bicycle or on my feet or something to that effect. I did put together a goal, which I'm not really sure how I'm going to figure it out since I'm working full time, but I figured I've always wanted to bike across Canada, but I'm currently working full time and have kids. So it's not really easy to take a summer off and do that in my current lifestyle. But I was like, but what I could try to do is at least cycle the distance of across Canada this summer. So not 100% sure how that's going to happen, because it's kind of a long ass way. And when you're working 9 hours a day and you usually commute that's it'll be challenging, but I'm going to figure it out. Today I rode in the freezing cold to work, so that's about a 2-hour one-way adventure. So we'll figure it out, but that's one of the things. And then just joy. I turned 50 this year too, so I have a bunch of little like things that I've never done that I just would like to do. And
love it. Oh, y'all, if you can be like Janet and set goals, you have no fucking clue how you're going to make it happen. That's living. If we know how the goal is going to happen all the time, that like linear piece I was telling y'all, it can really, really mess with us when it doesn't happen that way. Mm-hmm. And so I love goals that make me curious. Like Janet's like, maybe I bike the amount this summer. Maybe I do bike Canada. I don't know. Okay, to riff on really quickly, Allison's goal. So I ran a half marathon actually in Vancouver, and it was like Lululemon's first half called Seaweeds, which some of you have probably done. And I emailed my whole family. My mom's like super fit. She was my PE teacher as a kid. And then I have younger sisters that like, can run a half marathon hungover. So I was like, all right, let's email them. And so I was like, does anybody want to do this with me? And I put my dad on there just, so he was included. My dad had never run ever, not even 5K. Y'all, no one responded, which I know some of y'all would get this half marathon email and be like, yeah, fuck that. And so my dad wrote back after I like followed up. I always send the follow-up. Y'all, please send the second email. Be like, did anybody get this? And a couple people had like, my sisters had excuses or whatever. And dad wrote back, he goes, I'll run it with you. I was like, what the hell, Dad? And so I called him. I'm like, you want to run with me? And he's like, yeah. And so he starts training. He's never run in his life. He goes get like fitted for shoes, whatever. So Dad and I are touching base. We fly to Canada together. We run this race together. Dad cries at the end. Like, he's so proud of himself. He's so damn happy. And I would say for like 8 years, we ran a half marathon together once a year. And Dad got off like all this medication he was on, and like his health totally changed. And I share that with you, Janet, because I had no idea my dad would say yes. I share that with you, Allison, because I have like a huge frame of like the shoelaces we wore, a heart around a picture of us, and like the race map, and Dad has that forever. And you just never know. You never know where the goal's going to go and who's going to come with you. So Janet being like, how the hell do I ride across Canada? I don't know. Maybe your kids are going to ride with you. If they're small enough, maybe you're going to tow them in the back in one of those Thule things. And, just maybe they're going to run and cheer for you. So you just never know. So set goals without knowing. Yeah.
Goals without knowing. I really need to hear from Britt Mon, because if Britt is on this call, you need to hear her vision before we end.
Hi guys. Hey Jackie, it's been a while. It's funny with Janet, I was very similar, where like I have like these written visions, like legitimately running my own business, not just coaching under the table or via Venmo. But I think what I came down to was joy, where I was just like, what's my feeling around these? Like, is it that I have to have 30 clients or 60 or whatever, or is that I have joy with each one and maybe it's 10? And so I wanted joy to kind of be like my navigation tool of like, am I having joy with my family in this moment? Am I having joy in my career, in my relationship with my husband, So I think joy was central to mine too. But on that note, I do actually want to legit run my own business. So that is my like goal for summer.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's scary to me because I'm like, do I get like, I don't know all the steps. I got to research this stuff. Jackie would know, Steph would know, but I'm just like, and I have friends that know, but I got to just do the work.
Oh yeah. You can ask me anytime. I'm like happy to share with you, but it's changed too. My joy in my business probably has changed, as a lot of y'all have changed over the past 10, 5, 3, 2, 1 month, year, whatever it may be. Yeah. But y'all, I would just encourage everyone to know like what joy means to you. Joy is a longer lasting feeling than happiness. Happiness is really like a flicker. Joy is like leaving the light on, leaving your porch light on, if you will, to let people know you're home, let your goals know you're home. And I'll be honest with you, because I like being honest. My husband asked me, we were on a long road trip, whether it was, I think, Christmas or something. And I was listing out like what makes Chris happy. And then we switched to me, and my page was blank for a while. I told y'all, I just went on a sabbatical. I was dealing with some grief and some sadness. And I was like, wow, I cannot pinpoint it right now. But I left the page open. So I just want you to know, if anybody's like, I'm going to find my joy out in the next 5 minutes, like, okay, no pressure, but leave the page open. And maybe, moving into joy, like Britt just said, like I could call 3 people, we've got Tia cheering you on, right? And you can allow yourself to ask, what is joy now? And I shared with y'all, I saw myself hiking every day in the mountains. I just don't know if I'm going to hike as much anymore. Maybe I'm going to be like Janet and get on a bicycle, or be like Allison and get one of those cushion things for my knees and garden. And you, like Steph said, and I do love this about myself as well, is like, how do I stay open to the changes that I've become?
Yeah.
And knowing that my fear is like, what if, Kate doesn't like me anymore because my joy definition changed? Like, that's one of my biggest fears, is that you don't like me. And I think the biggest question, like Britt just mentioned, with having goal questions, does this bring me joy? One of the questions I've been asking myself in my change of emotional spectrum is, do I like me? And letting people rise with you and with your changes, and knowing that not everybody's going to come with, and not all the goals are going to come with either. So I love that goal question. Does this bring me joy? Do I like me? Right? Do I feel like me? Like, this is where we stay curious in an inquiry. That's being alive in our goals, in our changes, in our failures, in our celebrations.
Do I like me? Because if I like me, you might like me. And the most honest thing is that I want you to like me, and I want to like me. You see what she did there? I just love every freaking second with you, Jacki Carr, and I'm so grateful. I'm going to leave you with one thing which feels so aligned to Jacki, which is a book recommendation. It's called 4,000 Weeks by Oliver Burkeman. Has anyone read it yet? 4,000 Weeks by Oliver Burkeman. And if we live to 90, we live for 4,000 weeks. And I am obsessed with this book. I think it's so excellent. It's time management for mortals. And what I got out of this book was that we have become obsessed with achieving, zero inbox, do. And what actually has happened is, once we do, we only want to do more. And he said, you've missed the point of life. And we thought we wanted condensed work weeks only to work more. And one of my favorite nuggets out of the book is that we have forgotten how to have hobbies and how to have joy. And this one really hit my heart. He was like, you're so obsessed with doing things that even when you go for a run or you work out, you want it to be hard and you want to go faster. Like, when do you celebrate going slower because you wanted to go for a run? And I was like, oh my gosh, like, it's not meant to be punishment. And so if we can leave you with a nugget, it's that we have 4,000 weeks to live, if we could be so lucky to live to 90. And may goals be a compass that bring us joy in those weeks, because it doesn't need to be so hard. Yeah. With that, we'll wrap Goal Club. We will record this. We'll make sure that the link is right for next month. And just thanks for showing up. We love you. Bye, everyone.
Bye, y'all.
Bye. Thanks, Jacki. Thanks, Steph.
Bye.